Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Dr. Travis Legleiter. He's with the University of Kentucky, Extension Weed Scientist there. Good morning, Travis.
Good morning, Joanna.
Well, Travis, I'm glad you're visiting with us today because last year we got a little bit of a shock when dicamba was pulled, probably in a very inopportune time, but it's been under review. And could you give us a little update about where we are with that?
Yeah, so since that label or those three labels were pulled, there's been three labels that were approved, and that happened at the end of October, early November of 2020. And so there's three labels now that will be available for the next 5 years, or they were approved for the next 5 years for application to dicamba soybeans, and that would be Xtendimax, Engenia, and Tavium. So those are the three that are now available to farmers to apply to their dicamba tolerant soybeans.
And it still remains true, though, that if you are going to apply dicamba or one of those products, you still have to go through a training.
Yes, that is correct. So there's trainings available from all three registrants, and you have to have that training to apply any of those three products. And so you can take the training for one of the products, and then you're approved to apply all three.
And Travis, for those who are viewing, why is this product so important for our farmers?
This product, it expands the post-emergence options for our farmers for control of some of our tough broadleaf weeds like water hemp or palmer or mare's tail. It really helps out with those for a post-emergence option, and that's why it's been fought for so hard to keep it on the market and keep it around. And also a lot of our soybeans have that trait in them, and a lot of our better soybean lines contain that trait.
Okay, and so when the label went under review, afterwards it came back with some tighter restrictions on some things.
Yeah. So some of the concerns were that the labels weren't restrictive enough, or the labels didn't have enough restrictions to keep off-target movement from occurring. And so there are some new restrictions that are occurring on this label to help out with that.
And mostly they're with buffers, right?
Yes. So that's probably the one that stuck out for the most people. The biggest change. So the buffers changed from 110 foot, and they went up to 240 foot for most of our counties, and that is the downwind buffer. So the counties that are listed as having an endangered species, for those counties, and those counties have changed since the last round. So as you mentioned, Warren County is one of those, Barron County and Hardin County. Those are kind of three in the viewing area that are new to the list. And so those are counties that have been flagged as they are listed on the Bulletins 2 live website as having an endangered species. And for those individuals, you have to have a 310 foot downwind buffer, as well as a 57 foot buffer on all other sides of the field. And there's also, if you look into these labels, there's areas that can be included in the buffer, like roads and buildings and stuff like that. But with an endangered species, the only fields can be dicamba tolerant soybeans, whereas with the just general downwind buffer, you can include like cornfields or wheat fields in that. So there are nuances of differences between those restrictions, but certainly for counties like Warren and Hardin and Barron County, that 310 plus 57 on all other sides becomes very, very difficult.
So farmers really need to pay attention to where these fields are and where they plant these particular soybeans and what's around it, especially considering this buffer.
Yes, they need to really pay attention to that. And these buffers specifically are to protect endangered species. So they're looking to protect things like bodies of water, naturally occurring areas like tree lines, bodies of waters, things like that. That's what they're trying to protect. So if you have non-dicamba soybeans around you or downwind when you're trying to spray, that's just a do not spray situation, just like in the past. That buffer is not there to protect sensitive crops. It's there to protect endangered species.
You mentioned that we have this label approved for 5 years, and I think that gives farmers some relief, but at any time this label can get pulled and reviewed again, correct?
Yes, yeah. I mean, just the fact that it happened in the past, the precedent has been set. So we just don't really know. We know several of those suits have been refiled already. So be aware that while it's labeled for the next 5 years, never say never as far as it, not disappearing before then.
All right. Well, Travis, certainly appreciate the information. And if you have questions regarding the dicamba updates, make sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for watching and have a great day.